He goes out and he claims to be a prophet of God, 1902. 30 lying Dajjals, they will come after me. And amazingly, this is the problem. This is where the real crux of the matter is. Every single one of them will claim prophethood. Allahu Akbar. I curse that person. I say, may Allah's curse be upon that person who claims to be a prophet. Then he claimed prophethood in 1902. He writes this dua to Allah. Oh Allah, between the two of us, kill the liar by cholera. In the Urdu language, we call this condition haza. What happens in haza? Vomiting and diarrhea. Extreme diarrhea. 26th of May, 1908, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani dies of extreme diarrhea.
قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على بصيرة أنا ومن اتبعني وسبحان الله وما أنا من المشركين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. ما بعد. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا نبي بعدي لا نبي بعدي لا نبي بعدي. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, welcome to this topic and this place in Milton, Canada, Jamia Imam Bukhari or Markaz Imam Bukhari. Alhamdulillah, it's an upcoming masjid in Milton, very active in da'wah, very supportive, alhamdulillah, to our work and organizing lectures and talks and educational programs for the community.
We have a team here as well.
Yeah, and we have a team in Milton. So I invite you all to stay in touch with the masjid here in Milton, Jamia Imam Bukhari or Markaz Imam Bukhari, and continue to support the work the brothers are doing. MashaAllah, they are going from strength to strength. Previously, they only had one hall, and now they have two halls, and they are expanding so that they can cater for the needs of the community in Milton more. And of course, when there are conferences taking place, people come from other parts of the greater Toronto area. The topic I'm going to address today is very relevant to this location. In this very location, Markaz Imam Bukhari, we had two very important dialogues with the Ahmadi community, with the Murabbis. And the Murabbi I am referring to specifically is called Raziullah Noman. He is a bona fide Murabbi from the Ahmadi Jamaat who is based here in Canada. I had two dialogues or debates with him in this very location. The first one was a very friendly interaction for almost 2 hours. That's on YouTube. It's been watched by hundreds of thousands of people. And the second one was a 4 hours very charged debate between the two of us. Okay, and we discussed four topics. We discussed four topics with regards to Ahmadiyya community and the Muslim community, where we stand, on these matters. For example, the finality of prophethood, or the life or the alleged death of Isa alayhi salam, okay, or the unpleasant language of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. We discussed that as well. And whether Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani believed that Jesus Christ was a drunkard, okay, whether he wrote that in his books. So we discussed these four topics. They can be found on my YouTube channel. You can watch the long 4 hours discussion where we discussed four topics respectively. It was well received. Again, hundreds of thousands of people have benefited, alhamdulillah, from that particular interaction. So the interaction continues, the dialogue continues. I personally, speaking for myself and the team of brothers who work with me, we promote dialogue, we promote compassion, we promote mercy, we promote mutual respect. Okay, and this is why we continue to engage with the Ahmadi community. We believe, myself and the brothers who work with me and the greater body or the larger body of the Muslim Ummah, we believe that the Ahmadi community is basically is a community that broke away from the main body of the Muslim Ummah. So these are our lost brothers and sisters in humanity. They are lost. They broke away from us because of one person called Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, who came and he claimed things that were never claimed before in the entire history of Islam. In the last 1,400 years history of the Muslim Ummah, we never saw these claims made by anyone in any place at any time. Never. Okay, so this was a very unique experience. It happened in the 19th century, and I'm going to give some more details about that. Okay, so we believe that the community that came from the teachings or came from the followers of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, mainly the Ahmadi community, mainly speaking, consists of the descendants of the followers of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, those who actually believed in his claims and followed him. So today the Ahmadi community around the world, that comes from specifically the Indian subcontinent, partly from India and partly from Pakistan, this community consists of the descendants of those people who believed in the message of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and followed him. Okay, so that's why I say that these are our lost, broken brothers and sisters in humanity. They broke away, okay, because of this person, and we are now trying to reach out to them with love, compassion, and mercy so that they can hear what we have to say, why we refuse to believe in Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani as the promised Messiah or as the Mahdi or as a prophet of God for that matter, because he claimed all of these things. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed all these things. Okay, he not only claimed these things, he also claimed to be the return of Isa ibn Maryam. He also claimed to be the second coming of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, every single thing I will say, I repeat, every single thing I say today, we have black and white evidence for it. That cannot be denied. For the last year and a half, myself and brother Muhammad Imtiaz and our team, that consists of many volunteers from around the world, and a good number of that team, a bunch of brothers are also based in Canada. Okay, we have put out tons of pages and scans from the books of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to prove a point. And we've been having dialogues and discussions and debates with the Ahmadi Murabbis. So who is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani? What happened? Where did he come from? What was his message? What did he want? And where do we stand today? So very quickly, I want to give you a brief history of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was born in Qadian. Qadian was a town in the district Gurdaspur, current day Punjab in India. He was born there to a family that had some land to their name. So this was a land owning family from the Mughal period. During the Mughal period, this family had some land in this region, and later on, when the Sikhs came to power, people from this family joined the Sikh army as well, including Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's own father. Okay, Mirza Ghulam Murtaza was part of the Sikh army, and he joined many campaigns, Sikh campaigns, with the army to fight in the Muslim areas against Muslims. This is a historic fact. Okay, then Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is born in 1839 in this place called Qadian to Mirza Ghulam Murtaza and Chiragh Bibi. And as a young man, he was a very ordinary young man, and he himself writes about himself that he wasn't really taken very seriously by his family. He was considered to be a kind of, even his father was not very enthusiastic about him, right? So he had a very difficult relationship with his father. But then when he received his basic education, which was common for all Muslims to study Arabic and Persian and Islamic sciences as a child, he received that education. When he grew up, he became a writer or a scribe in a courthouse in India, in current day Sialkot in Pakistan, current day Pakistan, Sialkot in the Punjab. He was a muharrar, or a writer, someone who would write applications and write documents for people to present as legal documents in the court. So he worked there for a few years and he got the skill of writing. He got the skill of writing. He got to know how to write in Persian and in Arabic. So to put it in short terms, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he started to indulge in dialogues and discussions with the non-Muslim community, with some Hindus and with some Christians. So there was some back and forth. Then in 1879, he claimed that he has written a book. He has written a book titled Barahin-e Ahmadiyya. Okay? Barahin-e Ahmadiyya. Okay? This book, he said, is his greatest work that he has produced to date, and the book contains 300 powerful arguments to prove why Islam is true. 300 arguments to prove why Islam is true. So now, in 1879, he writes this, that the book is complete, it has been written, it is ready to be published. And then he asked the Muslim community to make donations so that he can publish the book. The details are far too many for me to give here, okay? But long story short, people gave him a lot of money to publish this book. And he promised that the book will be published as soon as he receives the money that he needs to publish it. So in 1879, he said the entire book has been written. It is complete. All 300 arguments have been put down in 50 parts, and he needs to publish them. So when he received tens of thousands of rupees, in the 19th century, in 1870s or 1880s, the people living in British India, they were using this silver rupee. I wish I could bring one of those with me. It was a large silver coin, silver rupee, and it weighed almost a tola. Tola is about 11.4 grams of silver. Okay? It was a lot of money. Okay? So he received tens of thousands of rupees from donations. And then people started to demand to publish this book. So he published the book in parts. So he published 4 parts up to 1884. Is everyone with me? By 1884, he published only 4 parts. Okay? Up to Hissa Chaharam, part 4. In 1884, this stuff was published in Amritsar, current day Indian Punjab, by a Christian press. He used a Christian press to publish his book, Barahin-e Ahmadiyya, 4 parts, up to 1884. And then people started to ask him, where is the book? You said all 50 parts are written. Okay? You said there are 300 arguments. Where are they? And he was not responding. Basically, he did not publish the entire book because it did not exist. It did not exist. And he took all those tens of thousands of rupees from Muslims across India. Okay, and then people started to curse him publicly. People started to publish pamphlets against him. Okay, advertisements against him. That this person is a fraud. He took our money. He never published the book. Okay, and then he responded that I have changed my mind. He said, I have changed my mind. I believe what has been published is enough. Okay, and because I have published five parts, because the fifth part was published in 1905 later on. In 1905, another part was published because of extraordinary pressure on him. He published part 5 of this book in 1905. And at the same time, he's publishing a lot more. He is publishing a lot of literature, a lot of books, okay, at the same time when this pressure is still on. Okay, people are still asking him. So he said, I have published 5 parts. The only difference between 5 and 50 is a dot. Wallahi. Yeah, that's what he wrote. The only difference between 5 and 50 is a dot. So 5 and 50, there's not much difference. I have published 5 parts, live with it, cope with it. Okay, accept this, right? But people obviously didn't accept this. People accused him of defrauding them and lying to them. So after he died, his sons, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, who was one of his successors, the second caliph of Ahmadiyya movement, okay, he was asked. And his other son, Mirza Bashir Ahmad, was also asked, where are these writings? What happened to them? Your father said, it is complete, it's written, it's ready to be published. And then when money was received, we didn't see it. Where's the complete book? And then they responded that it was burnt. It was lost. Something Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani never said himself, but his son said it was burnt, it was lost. Okay? But then people said, okay, if it was burnt, he could write it again. Because he's the person who wrote this stuff, right? He could write it again. So there were many excuses. To this day, Barahin-e Ahmadiyya is missing. It hasn't been found. The money was given. There is no evidence that the money was ever returned. So this is a short anecdote from many long anecdotes, right, about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and his dealings with the Muslim community. But he became a very controversial figure. He became a very controversial figure. He started to claim many things in his writings. He first claimed to be a mujaddid, a reviver of Islam, and that rang alarm bells with the Muslim ulama. The Muslim ulama became immediately, aware of where this person might be going with this. Okay, he is now claiming to be a mujaddid. The Quran says, do not claim righteousness for yourselves. The Quran says, do not claim righteousness from yourselves. Or for yourselves, about yourselves. He said, I am mujaddid, I am the reviver of Islam in this century. Then he went on to say, I am Masih Masih, I am like the Messiah. Which Messiah? Jesus Christ. I am not the Messiah, but I'm like the Messiah. Masih Masih. Okay, this was again another huge blow to the ulama. Like, hold on, what is this person doing with, this message? Where is he going with this, right? Then he claimed to be the then he claimed to be the Mahdi, the promised, awaited Mahdi, right? Who can be found in many, many different reports from the Prophet ﷺ. Then he claimed to be exactly Masih Maw'ud. First he said, I'm Masih Masih, I am like the Messiah. Then later on, he says, I am Masih Maw'ud, I am the promised Messiah. I am him. First, I am like him. Later, I am him. Right? Masih Maw'ud, the promised Messiah. Now, who is he referring to in this? He's referring to Isa alayhi salam. Now, there is something you have to note before we go further to his other claims. Of course, he claimed after this, he claimed to be a prophet. In 1902, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, having given many indications of going into that direction, that he's heading towards something like claiming prophethood, right? But he was not clear in his words. not very clear. He was giving, signals or vibes, as we say. He was giving vibes that he is into that direction. He's heading towards that direction. He's on that trajectory. Okay? And what happens after he claims to be Masih Ma'ud, the promised Messiah? Okay? He goes out and he claims to be a prophet of God, 1902. It is another thing, he said that I am a different type of prophet. I'm not like prophets who came before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm a different type of prophet. I am a shadowy prophet. Zilli. I'm a zilli prophet. Okay, I'm a buruzi prophet, like an avatar or otar. Okay, I'm like an avatar of prophethood, right? Then he said, my prophethood is not hakiki, it's majazi. It's not actually real, it's metaphorical. Okay? So he said all these things. He said, I am like a reflection of prophethood and a reflection of Prophet Muhammad, for that matter, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He even claimed to be the second coming. His son, Mirza Bashir Ahmad, he writes in his book Kalimatul Fasl that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when we say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is added into the kalima. He's included. So when we say the word Muhammad, my father, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he writes, is included in the Shahada. So therefore, when people ask us, why don't we have a new Shahada? Because we have a prophet called Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. We don't have a new Shahada because we see him as the second coming of Muhammad. He came to complete the job. Job that was left undone by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the words he used, Takmile Ishate Deen, in the Urdu language. He said, my father Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani came to do what? As second Muhammad, second Bi'tha, or second in the Urdu language, Bi'sat, Dusri Bi'sat, second Bi'sat. He came the second time because the first time Takmile Ishate Deen was not done. The completion of the propagation of the faith. That's what he's claiming. The completion of the propagation of the faith was not accomplished the first time. That's why it was needed for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to come the second time. So all of these claims were made by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. This is a very long story. I'm summarizing it very crudely. So bear with me. There are lengthy volumes and books written on the life of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani by many scholars. Okay, they have written all this stuff in detail, quoting his books and what his claims were. So he claimed to be a lot of things. He even claimed to be Krishna. Okay, he claimed to be Krishan, the Hindu deity. Okay, he claimed that Krishan was a prophet. He claimed to be, in a vision. That's in a vision. But he claimed to be the return of Krishan Kanhaiya, basically, right? So he made all these incredible claims. And it was very difficult for educated people at the time to believe in him. Okay? But those not very highly educated people around him at the time, the peasants of Gurdaspur, in the countryside of Gurdaspur and in Qadian, they fell for his charms. No doubt there were some other people around him who were learned, but they joined him in this. Okay? For example, we have an individual called Abdul Hakim Sialkoti. He was with him. He was learned. Then we have Hakim Nuruddin, who was his first caliph, his first successor after he died. He was also learned. And these people started to support him in his call. Now, because these people supported his call, doesn't mean that his claims are true. Because the ulama were giving reasons, debating non-stop, day and night. They were writing pamphlets, writing books, publishing articles in newspapers against him, trying to clarify why his claims cannot make sense. And they are contradicting each other. He keeps changing his story. He keeps changing his claims. Every few months, every few years, he comes up with something new. And then he issued many threats and prophecies against his enemies. Many, many threats and prophecies. So his habit was that if he didn't like someone who was attacking him in writing, okay, he would say this person will die like this person will die in such and such way, this person will die in this time, at that point, in this place. So he started to make prophecies, many multiple prophecies. Many of them, of course, actually, we have a claim that not one of his prophecies, I'm making this claim very responsibly, not one of his prophecies he made was fulfilled. Not one. Not one. One. I'm not saying 2, 3, 4, 5. I said one. Not one of them was fulfilled as he claimed it will be fulfilled. Okay? So, and he made multiple prophecies. I'll give you a few examples of them later on, inshallah, very quickly. Okay? So, he made all these claims. He claimed to be a prophet. And when he claimed to be Masih, Maw'ud, the promised Messiah, he was claiming to be Isa alayhi salam. And why did he do that? This is a very important question. Very important question. Because he had intended to claim prophethood. He had intended to claim prophethood for a very long time because he was on this trajectory. He didn't just hit the Muslims with a claim to prophethood in 1870s or 1880s because he knew immediately his own followers will abandon him and run away from him. Because they know there are multiple reports from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that state what? La Nabiya Ba'di. There is no prophet after me. There is no prophet after me. And the Quran categorically states that Muhammad Rasulullah is Khataman Nabiyyin. And the Quran also says Khatiman Nabiyyin. Both readings are in the Quran. You know the 10 qiraat? The 10 qiraat, 10 readings of the Quran. Majority of the readings of this verse, Surah Al-Ahzab, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين. It is in only one reading, which is Hafs, where the word Khatam is read. But the rest, they read it as ما كان محمد أبا أحد من رجالكم ولكن رسول الله وخاتم النبيين. So both meanings are there. That he is the seal of the prophets and he is the last of the prophets. Both readings are in the Quran, in the 10 qiraat. It's clearly stated in the Quran. Then on top of that, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam repeatedly, again and again, for example, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if there was a prophet after me, it would have been Umar. You all know the hadith, yes? Just like that, Muslims in the 19th century knew the hadith. If Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani said, I'm a prophet of God, he would have been immediately abandoned. Because even the most, simple Muslims knew this. That if there was a prophet after me, it would have been Umar. Oh Ali, another hadith from the Prophet. Oh Ali, you are to me like Harun was to Musa. But, you know the hadith. I didn't tell you it. You know the hadith. But there is no prophet after me. Oh Ali, you are to me like Harun was to Musa. But then to remove the confusion, because people might think Ali is a prophet because Harun was a prophet. So Rasulullah is equating Ali with Harun and Harun was made a prophet. So to stop the confusion, to undo the confusion, to undo the potential misunderstanding of his statement, he said, but there is no prophet after me. You are like Harun to me, you are like to me like Harun was to Musa, but there is no prophet after me. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, La Nabiya. 30 Kadhabun Dajjalun. 30 lying Dajjals, they will come after me. And amazingly, this is the problem. This is where the real crux of the matter is. Every single one of them will claim prophethood. Allahu Akbar. So how do you expect the Muslims to follow another man after Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be a prophet of God? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense, right? So that's why Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, he knew all these reports. He knew there is no way for him to claim prophethood and be taken seriously. So what did he do? I am Mujaddid, number one. He started like this. He went on a trajectory, slowly gained followers, slowly got their attention, got their love, got their got their money as well. Of course, money comes with it. When you have followers, in Pakistan today, in India and Pakistan, the easiest people to deceive and get money out of are these people in Pakistan and India. Have you seen Chuf Chuf? Chuf Chuf has followers. Chuf Chuf is one of the richest guys in Pakistan now. The guy is he's an absolute jahil. He cannot read a verse of the Quran. He cannot read a verse of, you ask him to quote the Quran, he will say chuf 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 chuf. And the guy has this big tasbih. He does makeup. Do you think I'm joking? I'm not joking. Look at him carefully. Zoom in. He puts lipstick on. Okay? He puts foundation on his face. And then he makes his face slightly reddish. He wears these colorful turbans, colorful clothes like Aladdin. Okay? From 1001 Nights. And then he comes to places like... And there are British Muslims, people in Britain who could not benefit from being in Britain for 30, 40 years. You know, people usually get education and they grow out of these things. Yeah? These people in their thousands holding their heads standing in front of him and he's doing chuf, chuf, chuf. And they're all thinking they are being healed. And you, wallahi, the easiest people to carry away and deceive are people from the Indian subcontinent. And peers and babas and walis and all, you know, subhanallah, there's a cult and there's a baba or there's a peer in every single street corner in Pakistan. Misguiding people, jahil people fall for their charms and then they scare them. Okay? I was watching a video the other day, a woman confronting a peer. She went to him and she said, look, I want to get married to this particular man. He said, send me your naked pictures and I'm going to do some amal and then your mahboob will come to you. She said, no, I cannot do that. So he said that, okay, come to me, then I will, have to, astaghfirullah. Literally, wallahi, I watched this clip. It's online and the woman and the peer are sitting in front of each other and there's an anchor from a TV station because they caught the peer. They caught him red. So they had all the screenshots and everything. She said, this guy is a predator. This is what he's doing to women. Okay? So he said, I will have to have the intercourse with you and then write something, subhanallah. I don't want to give details, unpleasant. And then she said, no, I cannot do that. He said, okay, then I will write some text on your back, naked back. And they caught him and they were beating him up and all that. He deserved it. This is India and Pakistan for you. People are jahil. People don't ask questions. They fall for anything. This is what happened with Mirza. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was very educated. So he could easily, manipulate people. So he started on this trajectory very carefully, knowing well the psychology of people. So he said, I am Mujaddid, then I'm Mathil Masih, then I am Mahdi, I am Masih Ma'ud, okay? Then I am a prophet. After nearly 25 years of his career, about 25 years of career, 25 years of conditioning of his followers, then he had them with the claim. And how? He didn't say I'm a prophet directly, so now he had to find a way to claim prophethood. He knows all these hadiths exist. He could not just claim to be a prophet on his own merit, that I am a prophet of God because I am. No. For 56 years of his life, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani believed, like all Muslims, that Isa alayhi salam is alive in the heavens. So the Quran says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ. Okay? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to the Jewish people and they claim, وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحِ. When they say, as for their saying, who? The Jewish people at the time of Isa alayhi salam and afterwards, when they say, we killed the Messiah, we killed Isa alayhi salam, we killed Jesus, then Allah responds, as for their saying, we killed the Messiah, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ, they killed him not, وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ, they crucified him not, وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ, rather it appeared to them so, the enemy, they thought they did it. Okay? وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا, they killed him not for certainty. Then what happened, Ya Allah? What happened? He was not killed, he was not crucified. Then what happened, Ya Allah? بَلْ رَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ, rather Allah raised him to himself. Now, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani said, you know what? Having believed 56 years of his life that Isa alayhi salam was not killed, was not crucified, rather he was raised to the heavens alive, he's there and he will return before the end times. Okay? So, this belief he stated, guess in which book? In which book? I talked about it. Barahin Ahmadiyya, his magnum opus. His magnum opus. He said, this is my best book. Right? He said, this book I wrote from Ilham. Now you have to think about this. It's a very serious matter now. He wrote about this book, that this book, मैंने ये किताब अल्लाह से मअमूर और मुल्हम होकर लिखी है. In Urdu, quoting him, word by word. मैंने ये किताब अल्लाह से मअमूर और मुल्हम होकर लिखी है. I have written this book having been appointed by Allah and having been inspired by Allah. I wrote this book. And then he says, this book, Allah protects its contents from the beginning to the end. And what does he write in this book? Okay, in part 4, page 498 and page 500, he writes that Isa alayhi salam will return with power and he will establish justice, to something to this effect. I have the scans with me right now. Barahini Ahmadiyya. So he's confirming the Muslim belief that has been the belief of the Muslims for the last 1,300 years before he wrote this book. So he is confirming Muslim belief from what? From what? From Ilham. From Allah. Who is Ilham coming from? Allah. Because he said it's coming from Allah. Allah told him through Ilham that Isa alayhi salam is coming back in power, in might, with might, to put justice in the earth. He wrote this, by the way. Yeah? And then now, later on, when he realized, hold on, I have to be a prophet. What am I going to do now? So he changed the story. He said, you know what? That was a mistake. Wallahi. He said, that was my misunderstanding. I could not understand the revelation properly, correctly. So actually, Isa alayhi salam has died. He was put on the cross. Because why is he doing this? Because he has to slide himself in somehow to claim prophethood. He can't just claim prophethood on his own merit. So now he's thinking, how do I claim prophethood? Kill Isa alayhi salam and claim to be him. Claim to be him. Because there's no other way to claim prophethood. Because the Prophet said, there is no prophet coming after me. So I am the return of Isa alayhi salam. And this is how I'm a prophet. Because when Isa alayhi salam, who was a prophet, comes back, he's still a prophet. Once a prophet, forever a prophet. That badge is not taken away from a prophet. So Isa alayhi salam, the only way I can slide myself in is by claiming to be Isa alayhi salam. And when I claim that, people will say, hold on, you're not Ibn Maryam. You are Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, the son of Chirag Bibi, not the son of Mary. Prophet Muhammad said, Isa ibn Maryam is coming back. Isa ibn Maryam is coming back. Ibn Maryam, the biological son of Mary, is coming back. But you're not that. He said, no, that's metaphorical. That's just a reference to the characteristics. But we say, no, Ibn Maryam. If he just said Isa or someone like Isa is coming back, it would be a different matter. But he said specifically Isa ibn Maryam, the son of Mary is coming back. You're not that person. He said, no, no. He told his followers, that's metaphorical. I am that man. I am the return of Isa. This is how I am a prophet. Okay, so he claimed to be the Masih Maud and then a prophet of God. By that virtue, by the virtue of being the promised Messiah, I am a prophet of God. But I am a prophet of God in a different sense. I am a reflection of prophethood. I am basically a bruise, which is like not reincarnation, but like a re-emergence of the same concept. Okay? So Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani unfortunately misguided a lot of people. A lot of people ended up following him because of his long career and slowly conditioning people's minds into believing all his claims. Although most Muslims rejected him, even people in Qadian rejected him, people in Gurdaspur, people all around Punjab and many ulama, they confronted him. And this is where comes the role of the Ahlul Hadith. Now, when Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani was claiming all these things, when he started to claim Masih Maud, having written already that Isa alayhi salam is a separate person, he's coming himself from the heavens to do justice, he disowned that, his earlier teaching, even though he wrote that this is from Ilham. The question is, did Allah know this information is false? Did Allah know this information is correct? Did Allah know Jesus has died at 120 and got buried in Kashmir? So Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani wrote that Jesus was put on the cross, nailed to the cross, but survived. He was taken down, he remained alive, and then he left Palestine. He left Palestine, he traveled all the way to India to die in Kashmir. Okay, and he died in Kashmir at 120 years old. Okay, these are incredible claims. Anyone would be shaken. Okay, and he took this theory, scholars think he took this theory from a Jewish journalist at the time who was a spy. He wrote this idea that Jesus might have died in Kashmir, so he adopted that idea and he just put it down in his books. Okay, having contradicted this already from Ilham in his book Barahin Ahmadiyya. If that is from Allah, did Allah know this information is incorrect? And did Allah know Jesus survived the cross and died in Kashmir? If Allah knew, why did Allah allow that Ilham to be put down in that book and not corrected? And for 12 years, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani did not understand that he had put down false information, having attributed it to Allah. Now all of this, ulama were looking at all of this and they were writing pamphlets and they were challenging to debates and all sorts of. So Muslims from all persuasions, to give credit to all the Muslims from all persuasions, they challenged him. Deobandis challenged him, Sufis challenged him, and the Ahlul Hadith challenged him. And amazingly, the Ahlul Hadith scholars, they took him to the brink of breakdown, okay, because they were so adamant to expose him that they were writing pamphlets and books upon books and books upon books. One scholar, there were many, and I can name them, they did great service to this cause and they started to write books and pamphlets to correct him, to invite him back to Islam, to invite him back to orthodoxy and not misguide people. They were writing books and journals and articles and newspapers. They had their own newspapers, like Muhammad Hussain Batalvi rahmatullah alayh, who was a direct student of Sheikh Sayyid Nazir Hussain al-Dehlawi. In fact, Sheikh Sayyid Nazir Hussain al-Dehlawi was one of the great scholars of the school of Ahlul Hadith, actually one of the pioneers, one of the founders of the school of Ahlul Hadith in the Indian subcontinent. Who are the Ahlul Hadith? People who claim their basically origin with the Prophet ﷺ and the first three generations. The Ahlul Hadith are a people who claim that we follow the earliest version of Islam, the purest version of Islam, which is going back to the Prophet and the first three generations, because the Prophet ﷺ said what? He said what? Khairun nasi qarni. ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ. The best people are from my generation and the one that comes after, and the one that comes after. That's about 100 years of first, basically after the Prophet ﷺ, the first century of Islam. Okay, 3 generations. So Ahlul Hadith, they trace back their origin with these people. So this view was promoted, adopted by hundreds of thousands of people in the Indian subcontinent. Sheikh Sayyid Nazir Hussain Dehlavi had scholars throughout the world who came to Delhi to study with him the science of Hadith. He was a polymath par excellence. He was born in 1800. He was born in 1800 and he died in 1902. Lived a very long life, over 100 years. Studied with many major scholars in the Indian subcontinent, and he was based in Delhi. And he had many students who were confronting Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and challenging him. He himself had given a fatwa of takfir against Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. He was one of the first people to declare Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to be a disbeliever. According to his view, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani left Islam way before he claimed to be a prophet. And he said, amazingly, that this man will claim prophethood. Watch, mark my words, this man will claim prophethood. And Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, in response, he wrote, मैं लानत बेचता हूं उस शख्स पे जो नबूवत का दावा करे. Wallahi, again, everything I am saying to you today, we have evidence for it in black and white. We will show it to you. If anyone requires, show me the evidence for that. We will bring it to you. He said, मैं लानत बेचता हूं उस शख्स पे जो नबूवत का दावा करे. What does he do? I curse that person. I say, may Allah's curse be upon that person who claims to be a prophet. Then he claimed prophethood in 1902. So look, this is a serious matter. I know it's sometimes, but it's a serious matter. He claimed to be a prophethood. So clearly this person was not even thinking what he's writing, right? Okay, so Sayyid Nazir Hussain Dehlavi, his student in particular, for example, Sheikh Muhammad Hussain Batalawi, who had supported Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani initially, thinking that this person is trying to defend Islam against Hindus and Christians. Okay? Thinking that this person is defending Islam against Hindus and Christians. But the moment he realized these claims, Mujaddid, Masih Masih, Mahdi, Masih Maud, he became alarmed. He realized he has made a huge mistake. Having endorsed some of his writings, now he wanted to do penance. You know penance? Yeah? He wanted to repent practically. He wanted to undo his mistake. And he made a mission of his life to oppose Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and expose his writing. And this is why he challenged Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani multiple times to a dialogue, to a public discussion. Come and sit with me and talk face to face. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani never found the courage or the confidence to talk to people face to face. And what he was trying to claim was what? I am the second coming of Muhammad. Also, he claimed also, I am the second coming of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I am मैं बेसते सानिया हूँ. His son Mirza Bashir Ahmad wrote in his book Kalimatul Fasl that my father Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani Muhammad Rasulullah ki besate saniya hai. Second coming. Who is the first coming? Who is the first coming? Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And what was he like? What was he like? There are 20,000 people in the battle of Hunain. 20,000 people in front of him. And they shoot arrows. They shoot arrows. 20,000 arrows raining down on the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. What happens? Naturally, we are human beings. Naturally, they went for cover. The Sahaba, they went for cover, to cover themselves. And in this chaos, the Prophet ﷺ, who did not want to move from his position, he stayed. He stood there. He stayed. He remained in his position. And the Sahaba who ran for cover, they realized the Prophet is still there. And the Prophet looked back, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, I am going to go alone forward to fight how many people? 20,000. He said, You know what he said? Ana Nabiyyu wala kadhib. Ana ibn Abdul Muttalib. I am a true prophet of Allah. I am not a liar. Why is he saying this? What is he making the reference to? What is he making the reference to? He's brave. Because he's brave, he's a true prophet of Allah. And he's a true prophet of Allah, that's why he's brave. Yes? So he said, Ana Nabiyyu wala kadhib. I am a prophet of Allah, I am not a liar. I am the son of Abdul Muttalib. Why did he make a reference to Abdul Muttalib? Because he was also known for his valor and his bravery. So he said, I am the son of Abdul Muttalib. I'm not a liar. I'm a true prophet. And then Abu Sufyan and Abbas radiallahu anhuma, both of them, new Muslims, both of them new Muslims, they grabbed the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, you will be killed. Where are you going? 20,000 people. And then Abbas shouted from the top of his lungs, Oh, the people of Badr, oh, the people of the tree, those who gave bay'ah to the Prophet, where are you? They all jumped from their camels and they came back to the Prophet ﷺ, reassembled with him. This is the Prophet of Allah. Okay? And then Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, every time he was challenged, he didn't turn up to public personal debates. Even when he had a debate with a Christian called Abdullah Atam, this debate was in written form. So Muhammad Hussain Batalawi, rahmatullah alayhi, who was a direct student of Sayyid Nazir Hussain al-Dehlawi, he challenged him multiple times. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani refused to see him. Actually published curses against him and du'as against him. Then another great scholar, Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari, rahmatullah alayh, who was at this time a young man, and Mirza Ghulam Qadiani was in his advanced age. So Sanaullah Amritsari challenged him many times. Okay? And he wrote books upon books. Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari, he had published so much literature against Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to expose him and to expose his so-called prophecies and his inconsistencies and contradictions, that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani became extremely disturbed and extremely agitated by his activism. To the extent, and why? Let me read the list to you. Why? Sanaullah Amritsari rahmatullah alayhi wrote the following books: Ilhamat Mirza Ma Jawab Ainai Haknuma, published in 1904. This was later, of course, in 132 pages. Okay, then a lot of this stuff was Sahifa Mahbubiya, also published by Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari. Okay, Shahadat Mirza Mulakkab Ba Ashra Mirzaiya. Okay, this is also a pamphlet published by Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari. Although most of these works, and there's a long list, I cannot possibly read the entire list, there's so much. You just have to go and search the works of Sanaullah Amritsari on Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. You will be left with a long list of books, pamphlets and articles. Devastating, hard-hitting. And most of this activism was done within the life of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, which was again published later on by him. Okay. So disturbed was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani by the activism of Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari that he published a very, very dangerous, threatening public advertisement. And it was titled Akhri Faisla, Last Decisive Judgment. Okay? So what is it called? Akhri Faisla. What does Akhri mean? Last. Faisla means judgment. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, who is Masih Ma'ud, Prophet of Allah, Mahdi, Christian, okay? All in one. Very, very important person, threatening a servant of Allah called Sanaullah Amritsari rahmatullah alayh. And then he publishes this threat. Okay? This Akhri Faisla. What is the Akhri Faisla? He makes a dua. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is supposed to be a true prophet of God, as the Ahmadi community believe, right? He published this threat, this dua against Sheikh Sanaullah Amritsari. He said, Oh Allah, he's praying, O Allah, between the two of us, me, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, and Sanawullah Amritsari, O Allah, between the two of us, whichever or whoever is the liar, okay, kill him through cholera in the lifetime of the truthful one. Okay, so now I want you all to listen to this very carefully. This is happening against who? An Ahl Hadith scholar called Sanawullah Amritsari Rahmatullah Alayh. Okay, and by the way, all Muslim scholars at this time are working together. All Muslim scholars from all different persuasions of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Sanawullah Amritsari Rahmatullah Alayh working with Anwar Shah Kashmiri Rahmatullah Alayh. Okay, and even Pir Meher Ali Shah of Golada, who challenged Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to a public debate in Lahore, and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani made the excuse to avoid the debate that there are Pathans there from Peshawar and they will kill me. They will kill me. No, this is, I'm not mocking. This is an academic detail of the whole interaction. He said there are Pathans there in Lahore, okay, and they will kill me. So he refused to come. When Pir Meher Ali Shah, okay, was appointed, Rahmatullah Alayh, may Allah have mercy on him, okay, when he was appointed to represent the Muslims, because all Muslims united against him, that okay, this is our representative, debate him, no problem. Okay, so Muslims from all different denominations and persuasions were working together because this was a common project for all of them. Because Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam belongs to all of them. Sufi, Barelvi, Deobandi, Ahli Hadith, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam belongs to all of them. So they came together. They said, you know what? We disagree with each other. On fiqh and aqaid, we disagree with each other. We know our disagreements, right? But this is a common cause. This man is trying to claim the honor of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. May Allah have mercy on all of those scholars for their great service to this cause. Because they served. May Allah forgive their mistakes. They had many errors, many things that we disagree with. But at the same time, they were sincere in this cause, trying to serve Allah and His Messenger in this way. So Sanawullah Amritsari was one of those people who had really triggered Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to the extent that he published this article. He said, "Oh Allah," he prayed, and this is published. No one denies it, by the way, it's public. Okay, he prayed, "Oh Allah, between the two of us, because there is one liar and one truthful one. Because there are only two people here. Sanawullah Amritsari, who is claiming things about Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, who is claiming a lot of things. So they are loggerhead with each other, right? So he writes this dua to Allah. Oh Allah, between the two of us, kill the liar by cholera. In the Urdu language, we call this condition haza. What happens in haza? Vomiting and diarrhea. Extreme diarrhea. Okay?
Just read it because it's very powerful. Like the way he actually said it, it's very powerful.
Where is it? Okay, I'll read it. From the whole thing is too long.
Yeah, just last two paragraphs where he's actually making.
Okay. So, last two paragraphs. Aakhri Faisla, English translation. Because of this, I hold on to your sanctity and your mercy, and I supplicate to you to give the true verdict, praying to Allah. Yes? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is praying to Allah. I supplicate to you to give the true verdict between me and Sanawullah. And he, in your view, is indeed the liar to be taken from this world in the lifetime of the truthful one, or for him to be indulged in any other calamity which is similar to death. O my beloved master, do just that. Ameen. In the end, I request Maulvi Sahib to publish this article in his magazine, and he may write whatever he wishes underneath it. Now the verdict is in God's hands. Now the verdict is God's hand. Okay, the writer is the servant of Allah, As-Samad, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, the promised Messiah. May Allah protect him and support him. 15th of April 1907. Okay? So, I will read the paragraph before. If they had not cast bad accusations against the speakers of truth, then I would have remained patient against these slanders. But I see that Maulvi Sanallah wishes to use these slanders to annihilate my countenance, and he wishes to dismantle the building which you, O my master, and the one who has sent me have created with your own hand. Okay? So now, here earlier, he mentions cholera specifically. Okay? He mentions how this death will occur through cholera. Okay? But oh my completely truthful God, if Maulvi Sanallah is not truthful in the slanders he attributes to me, then I humbly pray to you to annihilate him in my lifetime. To annihilate him in my lifetime. But not from the hands of human beings. In fact, from plague or cholera or such diseases, with the exception of such a case that he openly and face to face in front of me and my Jamaat repents from his swearing and bad language, which he considers as obligatory and always hurts me. Ameen, O my Lord. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, okay, 15th of April 1907. What happened as a result of this dua? So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is supposed to be a true prophet of God to the Ahmadi community, yes? And we have no exception to this rule. Every time a prophet of Allah prayed against his enemies, what happened? Dua is accepted without exception. Every time from Nuh to Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu a prophet of Allah prayed against his enemies, the dua was accepted. Give one example. Give you one example. When Rasulullah Sallallahu was praying in sajda, in Masjid al-Haram, in front of the Kaaba. He's in sajda. What happens? Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt, one of the kuffar from Quraysh, brings the intestines of a dead camel. Yes? And they place these intestines on the back of Rasulullah Sallallahu. And he's in sajda. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then Fatima, the daughter of Rasulullah Sallallahu, Az-Zahra, she comes running, crying, screaming out of grief and pain. She starts removing the filth from the back of her father. Subhanallah. And then the Prophet stands up and he looks at the Qurayshis. And what are they doing? Laughing, mocking him. Ha 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 ha. Look what we have done to Muhammad. And then the Prophet ﷺ said what? Famous words. Allahumma alayka bi Quraysh. Allahumma alayka bi Quraysh. Allahumma alayka bi Quraysh. Oh Allah, you be upon the Quraysh. You be upon. And you know those laughing, what happened to them? They stopped. They became serious. Because they knew Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is not a liar. They knew he's not a liar. And they became serious. Then, long story short, fast forward, Abdullah bin Masud radiallahu anh, he narrates, I saw every single one of those kuffar laughing at the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, dead in the well of Badr. Their dead bodies were dumped into the well after the battle of Badr. Every single one of them was killed in that battle. All of them laughing. And what did the Prophet say? Allahumma alayka bi Quraysh. So Allah showed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam the result of his dua against these enemies. One example, many more examples. So here is a true prophet of God praying with specific outcome. Praying to Allah, oh Allah, the one who is the liar out of the two of us, kill him in the lifetime of the truthful one. And don't just kill him by plague or cholera or some disease like this. In May, to be precise, the 26th of May, 1908, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani dies of extreme diarrhea. And Imam Sanallah Amritsari lived on for another 40 years. He died in 1948. as if Allah wanted to keep him alive for this long period, for 40 more years, to prove this point to such extent that no one can come and deny it. There is no denial. If Sana'ullah Amrasari died another couple of years or 3, 4, 5 years, or maybe Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani's dua. 40 years. 40 years. Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani dies of his own dua because he said, Ya Allah, whoever is the liar, kill him within the life of the truthful one. Specific dua, and kill him like this. And in Siratul Mahdi, the biography of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, written by his own son Bashir Ahmad, it is clearly stated that Mirza died of extreme bouts of diarrhea. Another source confirms that he died of cholera, Heza. He died of cholera, Heza. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani died of exactly the same dua he made against his enemy, Sana'ullah Amrasari Rahmatullah alayh. Allahu Akbar. So this proved Sheikh Sana'ullah Amrasari became the truth that stood for another 40 years against Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani, and Allah gave him a long life to do what? To prove it further. Long list of works, books, pamphlets, articles proving why Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani cannot possibly be true in his claims. Okay. So this was the service of Ahlul Hadith scholars against Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani, to show the world that, come on guys, this cannot be true. There is no prophet after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, so the Qadiani Murabbis today, when you discuss with them, they say, we don't want to discuss the life of Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani, we don't want to discuss his character, we don't want to discuss his curses, because he abused his opponents in words that even a decent man cannot use that language, let alone a prophet of Allah. Calling your opponents haram zadeh, excuse my language, I'm using this in the masjid, but again, naql kufr na bashad. Quoting kufr is not kufr in itself. Swines and children of prostitutes and those freedom fighters, they are the B word, yeah, okay. And the women of his opponents are B word, women, B word, worse than B word. So all of these are there. We have discussed these, and the Murabbis come back and they start to claim that no, others use them as well. This guy, that guy, this person, that person. The Quran doesn't use this language. And even if the Quran did, who is the Quran from? Allah. Allah can call whoever what he likes. But Allah doesn't use this language in the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ did not use this language in his lifetime. Okay, they give few examples. For example, the Prophet said, those who have asabiya, let them go and bite the private part of the father or something like that. The Prophet is not saying you are this. He's saying if you do this, you're like this. The Prophet said if you take riba, it's like having sex with your mother in front of the Kaaba. He's giving the extreme reality of these sins. He's not cursing people directly. You, because you don't believe in me, you are a B child. You are a B child. No. So all of these things were highlighted by the ulama, the Ahlul Hadith ulama, and there are many who confronted Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani within his lifetime, and after his lifetime they wrote these books on him. So the list of the scholars who, from the Ahlul Hadith school in particular, were basically Maulana Qazi Muhammad Sulaiman Mansoor Puri Rahmatullah alayh. He had written books like Ghayatul Maram in 1891. As early as 1891, he wrote this book to refute some of the works of Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani. So this is how early some of these Ahlul Hadith ulama had realized the trajectory Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani is upon. So another book he wrote was Tayyidul Islam in 1898, as early within the life of Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani. Okay, then he wrote another book, Mirza Sahib or Nabuwat. In this pamphlet, he basically refuted his claim to prophethood. Okay, then Haji Muhammad Ishaq Hanif Amritsari, also another Ahl Hadith scholar, he had written many books. For example, one of them, Abatil Mirza, later on, okay, it's a pamphlet, it's a short book. Okay, Butlani Mirza, in again 1335 Hijri, he published this pamphlet. Then we have Maulana Abdullah Mehmar, there's a long list of his books against Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani's claims. And also, most importantly, Maulana Sana'ullah Amrasari, a huge list, as if Allah gave him this life as a result of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani's dua, that was accepted by Allah, he died in the life of the truthful one. Because what was the dua? Kill the liar first. Oh Allah, kill the liar first and kill him through cholera. This is exactly what happened to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, and Sana'ullah Amritsari lived a long life for another 40 years. Long list of books produced, amazing list of literature, like a library he produced in those next 40 years, because that's what he dedicated his life to, because he wanted all those lost Ahmadis who had become Ahmadis following on, following Mirza Ghulam Qadiani's claims, trying to save them from hellfire. Trying to save them from hellfire. Many thousands were saved, no doubt. Another thing I want to mention very quickly and finish here, another example, this was not an accident. Another incident took place where Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was shown to be completely out of his mind. Or to be, this alone, this one example I'm about to present is enough for any sincere person. Okay? There was one of his opponents called Abdul Hakim Patialvi. Abdul Hakim Patialvi, who was one of his followers, then apostatized, left him, and then Mirza called him a murtad as well. Okay, that he's an apostate, and having apostatized, having known that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is a false claimant to all these things, he challenged him. He said, I challenge you. In July 1907, from July 1907, he said, you will not live longer than 14 months. Abdul Hakim Patialvi threw this challenge at Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani that from July 1907, you will not live longer than 14 months. That's my challenge. Go. You will die within this time. Now Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, when he heard this, he published a pamphlet, a public announcement. And in this announcement, he said that Allah has told me. Who? Allah has told me, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, who is already a prophet, who has claimed to be a prophet. Now he's saying, Allah has told me directly that your enemies, what they are claiming, are going to be liars. I'm going to prove them to be liars by prolonging your life. By prolonging your life, and your enemies, what they are claiming, that you will die in this time. And then he mentions 14 months from July 1907. Mirza himself mentions this, by the way. 14 months from July 1907, they will be proven to be liars, and I will prove my truth. Who is talking now? Who is talking? No. Allah is talking. Allah is talking to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani. I will prove my truth by making them liars and prolonging your life, so you will not die within 14 months from 1907. Now, there is an issue now. Now, because Allah has spoken, everything else becomes irrelevant. Do you agree? Abdul Hakim Patialvi becomes irrelevant. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani becomes irrelevant. The whole world becomes irrelevant, because who has spoken now? Rabbus samawati wal ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has spoken that I will show my truth, that I am God and I am true, by making your enemies liars, and I will prolong your life. Okay? So what was the time? July 1907. And how long was the time? 14 months. So by this announcement from Allah, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani should have lived longer than 14 months from July 1907. Correct? Yes? Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani died on the 26th of May 1908. Within 9 months. Within 9 months. He died within 9 months.
Did he not even say 70 years or 80 years?
That's another issue. That's another. We have done like long 9-10 hour streams on that. All the evidence is there. You can go and check it out. That's another issue. I don't have time for that. Okay. This example alone and the Amritsari example alone, these two examples alone, any sincere Ahmadi on the planet who really loves Allah and wants to be a Muslim and wants to go to Jannah, this is enough to know that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was not a prophet of God. Not even a decent man, let alone a prophet of God. I will stop there. Thank you so much for listening. This is all I could present today. My intention was to talk only for maybe 20-30 minutes, but this has gone on for longer than that. because such is the nature of the topic. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. May Allah bless you. And I will take questions now. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen.
Stream is on, inshallah. Maybe some people don't know about it.
So the stream is on now. So we are going live right now after this.
Yeah, they're already on. That's why I went out.
Okay. So I'm going to go, after I'm finished with this, I'm going to go live on my YouTube channel, because we do this stream on to invite the Ahmadis back to Islam every Saturday. So inshallah we'll be joining that live. But very quickly I want to do a Q&A. If there are any questions, very quickly, go ahead. Inshallah. You want to say something? When I make an announcement? Yeah.
How come the Ahmadis, they're so influential in Canada specifically? Like if you look at the largest masjid in Canada, it's Ahmadi masjid. So how come they're so...
They are organized because they have a financial system called the Chanda system. They collect money 10 to 20% from their followers. Okay, they have this Wasiya system as well. You give money, your Wasiya, to the Jamaat so that you can get a qabr, a grave in the so-called Jannati Maqbara, to be buried with the family, or it's a cemetery, it's a graveyard of the Ahmadis. So they are organized financially. They are a small group, they are a very small minority group. So they spend most of their money on proselytization. They create murabbis. Murabbis spend like 7 years to study. They are not scholars. They are not researchers as such, but they train them how to protect their religion, how to defend their religion, and how to spread it throughout the world. So they have branches all over the world where they're trying to, but alhamdulillah, it hasn't spread as they claimed it is spreading.
How come when he was spreading his views, how come there was no Muslim authority that arrested him? Or
because there was no Muslim authority. He was under British rule, and he was invoking British support repeatedly. He even wrote pamphlets. He abolished the concept of jihad fi sabilillah. Anyone who fought against the British rule, the tyrannical, the genocidal, the racist, the hateful British rule in India, okay, anyone who fought against it physically, or anyone who resisted it, he called them, I'm sorry again, haramis. Okay, he called them bee children. He called them, anyone who fights against the British is a bee, right? That's what he said, right? And also he said he took pride in the fact that his father supplied the British army with logistic support, with a cavalry of 50 men who went there to fight against the Muslims and the Hindus of India who were struggling to gain independence from the British rule in India. So Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was openly a British sympathizer. He took pride in the fact that he's a servant of the British Empire. Okay, he said, my prophethood is to serve the British Empire. He even wrote a very long panegyric for Queen Victoria, praising her and trying to reach out to her. He even wrote a pamphlet, a very important pamphlet, Abolition of Jihad, and he dedicated this pamphlet to King Edward, the son of Queen Victoria. So his services to the British Empire go a long way. And I had this conversation yesterday with some Qadiani Murabbis. They said, you know what, you believe in a bloody Messiah, Jesus will come back and he will, wreak havoc in the world. So our Messiah is peaceful. He came to bring peace. He removed the concept of jihad, no fighting, no violence, love for all, hatred for none. Then I asked him this question. I asked all three of them live. Is there, you can watch it on the channel. Okay, I asked them, if the Messiah came and he brought peace and abolition of violence and jihad, why were the Ahmadi soldiers fighting on the British front during the First World War against the Ottomans? Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud sent men to fight for the British against the Muslim Ottomans in Iraq during the First World War. So what Messiah is this? This Messiah only banned jihad for the Muslims, and he allowed jihad with the British against the Muslims. What kind of Messiah is this, right? So they had no response. They completely skipped the question, did not give me an answer, because there is no answer.
did his followers ever go for Hajj or Umrah?
Okay.
His followers do, yeah, but he never. Sorry, anyone?
Give her a chance. It will be repetitive. There's a brother over there. He has a question with the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, yourself.
What's your general observation about the debates with Qadiani? Do they seem pragmatic and open to the idea of...
Yeah, what is the perception about our debates with Qadianis? I mean, are they open to changing? And it's not about the Murabbis we're debating. It's the people who are listening. There are so many sincere, okay, God-fearing Ahmadis, beautiful people, well-mannered people. You know, they don't harm anyone. They don't do any harm. They mean good, okay? But they have fallen victim. They have fallen victim to the manipulation and false teachings of this institution. So we are reaching out to them, and wallahi, every single day, okay, there are Ahmadis who are leaving and they are coming back to the main body of Islam, alhamdulillah. So our lost limbs are coming back to us because they are part of our body. They are, look, we have to reach out with love and compassion and mercy. Insulting, hateful rhetoric, violence, absolutely not. This is not the way, okay? They will listen. If we reach out with respect and love, they will listen, okay? It's not about the Murabbis we are debating, okay? Although some of them have left. I know Murabbis who have left, okay? I know Murabbis who are already on the fence. They're sitting in the middle. They are still calculating their options and they want to leave, okay? By the way, there are people in this crowd, okay? I'm not going to say who are ex-Ahmadis. There are people in this crowd, okay? So I'll leave it there. Anyway, yeah.
I would ask, what's the best argument would you use for disproving the Ahmadiyya community? What's the best argument?
I gave you some of the best arguments. Watch this lecture again, please. Yeah. Yes, Brother Watson.
Is there any indication, in your personal opinion, that they were actually supported, this guy was supported by the British, like he doubted Islam in his early age, and then was kind of funded? That's one question. The second question is optional. One of the benefits would you say?
Let's go one question at a time, yeah? Okay. Now the people get a chance. Okay, let's go.
Okay, the first question is basically, is there any evidence that he was directly supported by the British Empire or the British colonial rule in India, or he was launched by them? This is a very interesting question. A lot of people claim this, and they keep coming back with this. To my knowledge, to date, there is no evidence for us to claim that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, as a claimant to all those things, was launched by the British colonial rule in India. No, we do not have any solid evidence. Although he himself openly said, I am happy to serve the British Empire. I'm a loyal servant of the British Empire. Okay, the British Empire is the best thing that happened to the world. He wrote this, by the way, what I'm saying. But there is no evidence that this relationship or these feelings are reciprocal. There's no evidence. However, having said that, from the second caliph, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, there is clear evidence that the British came directly behind this movement and they started to support it financially and otherwise. This is why he sent men to fight for the British against the Muslims in Iraq. Okay, so there is clear evidence about Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud that the movement was used by the British colonial rule, and even to this day, Britain serves as a loving mother or loving father to this group because Britain is the seat of caliphate, basically.
There's one brother here, right here. What's the brother, young man?
Did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad actually believe in Allah, or was he not sure about his idea?
Okay, look, this question, did Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani believe in Allah and was he not? You know, the question whether he actually truly believed in Allah is a very interesting question. Many people say he believed in Allah, but he was completely deluded and he came to believe in his lies, because there is no way to accept that he was truthful, because there is so much overwhelming evidence to prove that he was simply not truthful in his claims, because there were so many contradictions and he himself shot himself in the foot so many times, like these prophecies and these claims he made, and they were always proven to be wrong. But did he actually believe in Allah? Some people actually claim that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was a naturalist. He was an atheist. He didn't care much about religion. He was just doing it for some unknown reason, right? And he denied miracles. Amazingly, check this out. This is another contradiction now. He denied categorically stated miracles in the Quran. The Quran mentions the miracles of Musa alayhi salam, the staff of Moses, for example. Yeah, Jesus making birds out of clay. Yes, and blew life into them. Bi-idhnillah. Yeah, and Ashabul Kahf, for example. So many miracles. The night journey of the Prophet. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani claimed this was a dream. Okay, if it was a dream, so what's the big deal? Why is Allah mentioning it specifically in the Quran? What's the big deal? If so, how many people have dreams there? Put your hands up. So some of you don't have dreams? Maybe you need some some rehabilitation. Okay, right? Okay, so everyone has dreams. So if it was a dream, why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, subhanalladhi asra bi abdihi min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa? Huh? Why? What's the big deal? Ya Allah, why are you mentioning it in the Quran specifically? It was a dream. It wasn't a dream, it was a physical journey. So Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani categorically, he actually said the miracles of Isa alayhi salam were mesmerism, trickery. Not sorcery. He didn't say it's magic. He said trickery, mesmerism. Okay? And amazingly, when you ask Mirza Sahib, did you do any miracles? Think about it. Angels coming to him. Is that natural or supernatural? So that in itself is a miracle. An angel. Mirza Sahib said, an English looking angel came to me and gave me English revelations. For example, I love you, I can do what I can do, I will do what we do, things like this. Okay, not, you're laughing. You're laughing, it's true.
What we will do, I do what I do.
Okay, we will what we will do?
We will do
Yeah.
what we do.
Okay, we will do what we do. This is...
I'll come by you, I'll do what I do,
Okay.
we do what we will.
Okay. So these are the English revelations of Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani Sahib. And he said, I saw an English angel, an English looking angel who brought these revelations. Okay. Then there are other examples. This is one example of some supernatural things happening with Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani while he's denying all the other prophets and the miracles. Then also, he claimed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sprinkled ink on him. Okay. And that ink fell on his clothes, which could be seen physically and is still around apparently.
It actually went on one of his disciples who was coming inside the house.
Okay. So the ink fell. So how ink fell from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is, again is a miracle, you know. Then another miracle is claimed that the child spoke from mother's womb. He denies the miracle of Isa alayhi salam speaking from the cradle. The Murabbis went on running marathons with us, denying it. But there is a miracle attributed to Mirza, one of Mirza's children, Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani's children, that he spoke from the mother's womb before pregnancy. Before pregnancy. If this is not a miracle, then what is? So inconsistency, contradictions. Yes, next question.
There's a question on the chat.
Yeah.
And I think many people have this question. Is there, the person asked a quick Q&A sheet that Muslims can refer to while doing da'wah and they come across a Qadiani? And adding on to this, there's a lot of debates. Is there any written material that is beneficial for the brothers to have with them or to benefit from?
Okay, one of the quickest and the best ways is to, if you want to address a specific topic with the Ahmadi community, go on our YouTube channels, Dialogue with Imtiaz. The Dialogue with Imtiaz is one channel, and Adnan Rashid, which is my channel. Go to all those streams we have done for the last year and a half, and every Saturday we do a stream. There is a stream right now going on, but the Imtiaz is live right now as we speak. So in those streams, we deal with specific topics and we put up evidence on the screen. You can take screenshots. With regards to written material and frequently asked questions or the questions we should ask, we are working right now as a team on a portal, on an online platform where you can actually go and download PDFs and books and pamphlets and questions and materials. So we are working on that so that you can actually reach out to the Ahmadi community with compassion and love to invite them to Islam, inshallah ta'ala. Inshallah. Anyone else?
There's a brother here in the back here.
Yeah.
I just had a quick question. You know, oftentimes the Qadiani people, they love to say that this verse of the Quran is like a metaphor. We don't take it literally. So what verses of the Quran do they take literally?
Okay, what verses of the Quran do the Ahmadis take literally? Because they say a lot of the verses of the Quran are metaphorical. They specifically talk about verses about miracles. For example, any miracle that's attributed to a prophet in the Quran, they say, oh, it's metaphorical, it can't be physical, it can't be naturalistically explained, you have to explain it scientifically. And then we go back to them and say, okay, explain scientifically ink from Allah. Explain scientifically a child speaking from the mother's womb before pregnancy. Explain to us an angel coming, an English angel coming to Mirza Sahib, right? So they have no responses to this, right? But so they take verses of the Quran at whim. Whatever suits their argument at the time, they will take any verse, spin it as they like, and they expect everyone to accept it. No, it doesn't work like that.
What we're going to do is Adnan Rashid, and then there's a few questions, and then we're going to stop there. We have another event right after this, so we have to get there. It's still traveling time, so I know all of you have many questions, inshallah. So please forgive us. We're going to maybe take one or two more questions after. We have a small reminder to give all of you before we go. We're going to do the azan, we're going to do one or two questions, and then we're going to give our reminder, and we're going to leave, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamu alaikum. This brother here has a question. Bismillah. Sheikh.
Are there any writings of his, or did he speak in Arabic?
Yeah, he knew Arabic, he knew Persian, he knew Urdu, he knew Punjabi. Yes.
Writings in Arabic?
Yeah, he wrote in Arabic as well. Yeah.
This brother here has a question.
Is it possible to make a database where we can search, for example, the persons, so that because
Yeah, the answer is yes. The database is coming.
6 months at max.
6 months at max. We are working on it as we speak. We have a team working on it. Within the next 6 months, we will have that search engine, that database where you can actually go and put a topic and you will get the materials on it. So inshallah, it'll be very easy to reach all this stuff, inshallah. English?
English with Urdu with English translation.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Urdu with English translation, yes.
Two more questions and that's it, brothers.
Yes.
Well, one here, you put your hands up first. Go ahead.
Yes, I just have a question. Is it true that Qadianis don't have a concept of Yom al-Qiyamah or Armageddon, or they believe like another prophet? It's like a repetition.
Yeah, they do believe in the Day of Judgment. Okay, they do believe in that. But they don't, they also believe that prophethood is jari. It is basically continuous. More prophets can come before the end times. This is what the community believes, but Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani did not believe that. He said, "Main aakhri mursal hoon. I am the last messenger from God." So there is a contradiction between the Ahmadi Jamaat and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani on this topic. Brother Basil has a question as well. We're going to come to you, inshallah, please.
Well, let me just get this,
please.
Were his ideas affected by those of Sayyid Ahmad Khan or vice versa?
Thank you very much for a very good question. Was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani affected by Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan and his ideas? Absolutely, no doubt. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani was directly affected by his writings. Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan denied miracles. He was a naturalist, and Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani adopted those ideas. Although Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan denied any connection with him and sent lanat upon him, and he said, "I have nothing to do with this guy because he's claiming all these things." But he did agree with Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan on many ideas, and there's no doubt that he would have adopted. The denial of miracles comes from Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan and some other thinkers at the time who were of this opinion. So he was a naturalist. Mirza Ghulam al-Qadiani was a naturalist in that sense. He was affected by the thought. He would take anything from anyone so long as it agreed with his mind. He would take anything from a goat. If he saw a goat, saying something, let's say, yeah, he would take it. Like he took the idea of Jesus dying in Kashmir from a Jewish spy who wrote something like this, and he just adopted the idea. Oh, good idea. You know what? I can use this idea and claim. And he even tried to justify it using different historic evidence that Jesus did actually travel to Kashmir and die there, right? And the audacity of the Ahmadi community, they have written books on this. They even claim that Turin Shroud, Turin Shroud, which has proven to be a forgery. It is a 13th century forgery. It has been carbon dated. They still insist that Turin Shroud is a piece of evidence that Jesus survived the cross and he eventually died in Kashmir.
I should put Mirza's picture next to the shadow.
Sure, and they look the same. So yeah, there's an image, alleged image of Jesus on Turin Shroud. They put the picture of Mirza next to it, and both look the same.
I just wanted to get your general advice for all of us. So I personally, I've learned about Qadiani 10 years ago, and one of the benefits, even from your lectures, I learned about usul, points of aqaid, Then at some point I realized, there's too much information for to delegate these topics like yourself. And as the brothers shot to read in the chats, we'll get this database. But can you give me general advice how to benefit from places like Imam Bukhari? Well,
some jinns are not happy.
Simultaneously learning about these topics, just some general advice how to benefit places like Imam Bukhari and learning about these topics.
Sorry, I forgot completely, because a jinn came and distracted me.
No, I was just saying, one of the general advice.
No, I'm not joking. There might be a jinn here because this shelf was there for the last how long? And it just fell now.
Books are heavy. We're natural.
No, but
books are heavy.
Yeah.
One of the benefits I personally talked about learning about these topics is the importance of usul. The importance of usul. Like some people will ask, why are we focusing on these Qadianis? But one of the, just to share personal benefit, I got a personal benefit learning about the importance of Aqidah, usul. But at the same time, at some point in time, I did have to realize that, wait, there's too much information to navigate. Then I realized I need to benefit more from the classes at Imam Bukhari and so forth. Just wanted your general advice, how to navigate these topics. So there seems like there's so much information.
Yeah, look, thank you so much for that question. Brother Basil, he has mentioned something very important, that we need to understand our own principles, our own usul, and that you can only do when you actually seek knowledge, educate yourself. Like there is now there are halakas here, mashallah. Sheikh Sharik earlier he mentioned that there will be halakat to do with Bulugh al-Maram. We advise you to all attend this. Seek knowledge, build your knowledge, and if you want to handle a specific, let's say, group of people, and you want to give da'wah to them, like for example the Ahmadis, then you can't just walk into a discussion without having background knowledge. Okay, you have to read basic stuff on this. There is a lot in Urdu. Very little in English, unfortunately, but there is a lot in Urdu. Our streams are in English. They will help you a lot, inshallah. And also, we have, inshallah, that website coming up very soon, inshallah. So you have to specialize when you deal with someone. For example, if you want to give da'wah to Shia, okay, you need to study what they believe in, okay, and master your own principles so that you can call them to your own principles. That you need to show why your usul, your principles, are stronger than what they are claiming, right? So this is why you have to seek knowledge of your own deen, okay, your own tradition, and then specialize inshallah in giving da'wah to others. Anyone else? I think that's it. Okay, this was the last question. Sorry brothers, no more questions. We have to make a move now.
Yeah, if anybody has
وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون